I think if he gets reelected, we shift in a completely different path to where we start to get off from a capitalist, market-driven economy to a planned and more controlled economy. The problem with that is that creates a new normal that you cannot get back from. Just pulling back the Obamacare initiatives right now are going to change people who have already started to adopt it as fait accompli. It's going to happen. Change the new normal. People are already betting on the fact that it's going to be free whatever. So getting that back to begin with, you get off far enough, we end up with a very planned economy, a very controlled, I don't want to use socialized because that depends upon how it's built in the political realm, but if he goes in that direction and he has the Congress and the Senate, as he did with this reconciliation game they played with Obamacare, pushing in that direction, it will take 40 years like it did with FDR to get back to where we have a capitalist society. So I really believe the choice comes now as to whether we're going to get to that point where we're going to hold a thread of market continuity, or whether we're going to get so far off into planned economy. Every place I've been, 17 different countries in the last 6 months, every one of them, they look at me and ask me, what are you doing in America? Why is it you didn't learn or figure out from our mistakes along the way?
I was in Georgia. Okay, I was talking to people in Georgia when I was over in Europe. This guy comes over from Georgia and he says, I said, what do you think of Saakashvili? He said, you know, he's good generally. He says he's got his own problems. Every politician has a problem. He said, but let me talk to you about your politicians. I said, what do you mean? He said, we lived through this. He said, our people are fighting against communism and socialism. We know what it does. And your people from your administration are coming over here now and lecturing us that we should be more socialist. What the hell is wrong with you people? I said, we're not our government. We're not all our government. So what is the government? What does the economy look like a year from now?
Well, you can't live there. We're not there. Predictions don't have a lot of value, really, because you can't live in the future. You can only live in the present. And when prices start turning down, then we know that prices are turning down. All we have is this very moment and what's reflected us in the now.
I think, though, when you start going in one direction, Glenn,
and by practicing
you see the gap.
You don't miss things. It's only when you live somewhere else other than the present that you miss things. You have to be alert. You have to be awake. You have to be living in the moment. Be tuned in, not turned off. And then you see things.
I was trained completely differently. I was trained by John Temple, and I was always looking 5 years out.
Planning, yeah.
You have to look 5 years out. I don't buy a stock based on what it's going to earn next week, next quarter.
John Templeton was
the Chinese live in the now, but they also live 100 years in the future. I mean, you don't.
Okay.
Damon.
Think of the immediacy of now. Where are you going to see things? You remember Sully Sullenberger?
Yeah.
It's an amazing story. We all know Sully Sullenberger, right? So the plane takes off, comes out of LaGuardia. 2 minutes after the plane is up, he hits the birds. What is he seeing on the instrument panel? Fuel pressure, altimeter. There's problems in the airplane. Now, maybe he could have listened to the training that says, you know, really, Sully, you should not be flying this airplane. You should be on autopilot, because all good pilots fly on autopilot. But Sully responded to what was happening in that aircraft. The information that he saw was in the present. It didn't live anywhere else other than the present. He took command of the airplane. He saved all the passengers. Could have been horrific. I think what was so amazing about that is that that happened around 2008, when the whole economy was crashing.
Oh, I know.
So how do you see things?